Time tells you everything. Do you realize that? Where you spend your time, where you allocate your time, tells you what you believe is important. The question I want to ask is, are you conscious about where you're spending your time? I noticed this yesterday. Um, if you don't know, until this week, I've been in hypnotherapy school to become a certified hypnotherapist. I spent the last 4 weeks, 5 days a week from 10 to 7, 9 hours a day, that includes my lunch, doing hypnotherapy training. On weekends, doing homework, along with everything else that I do. And so last Friday was the last day of class. I had homework. I finished my homework on Sunday, and Monday came. And on Monday, my wife left for Denver to go be with my granddaughter, then bring her back later today. And I found I was doing hypnotherapy work. I was looking at scripts. I was putting them into order. I was rewriting things. I wrote a script for myself and that I'll record a little later today about how I want to prove how this works for me. Because I'm always a believer that if it works for me, it can work for anyone. Because I'm not special. I'm just Lee, and you're just whoever you are. So I found that I literally was working as much as I did when I was in school at home. That tells me what was important to me. Now, the other things I did, I had dinner with my son. We spent some quality time talking. I took my lovely puppy on a walk. We played together during the day. I took care of her needs. I cooked. I did meditation. I did 2 guided self-hypnosis sessions yesterday on myself. I did Wim Hof breathing, and I meditated. I also went to the bank, took care of the Agape financials. So my day was full. I was up at 3:30. That seems to be when I get up. And I went to bed at 8:45. And my day was full. And I loved every bit of it. So you get to see your time tells you what's important. Now, if my wife had been home, I would have spent some quality time with her in the morning and then later in the evening. But since she wasn't here, I used the time I would have spent with her on other things that I felt were important to me. So I'm always adjusting my schedule to fit in what is most important to me at that time. Don't take time for granted. You don't know how much you've got. In a conversation that I was having with my son Stephen yesterday, he said he'd been talking to his brother Matt. And he was saying, mom and dad appear really healthy now. The average age for people is what, 76 years of age? So mom and dad are going to live longer than that. And he said, can't take it for granted, because how many more Christmases will Claire have with their grandma and grandpa? Well, I think a lot. But Stephen said, well, maybe 8. And he looked at it from the standpoint, you got to make every moment count. So it's like I could be finishing hypnotherapy school this week and next week. I chose not to. Why? Because we're bringing Claire down, our granddaughter, 6 years old, to Dallas to be with Jean and I, just the 2 of us and Claire, and my son Stephen, but he's not all that interested in a 6-year-old. So you can see that my decision to not finish hypnotherapy school was influenced greatly by my time with my granddaughter. So you know what's more important to me? My granddaughter, being a positive influence on her life. That's how I make decisions. I wasn't always this way. I was numb for most of my life, just made decisions that weren't really of what I valued the most. Peer pressure, parental pressure, everyone else wanting you to do things, and so you went along with the road. You got to give that up. You got to find out what's important to you and you give it your juice. And your juice is your time and the feelings and the concentration that you put behind it. Then you're going to live a life that you've created, and you're going to have a great sense of fulfillment. With that, beautiful ones, it's a great day to be alive, and only you can make it so. Much love.